And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marshall County Today. It's the new talk show aimed at informing you about stories, people, and businesses around your neighborhood, part of the Max Morning Show. And today we got, I have two of the my favorite people with us here today in the show as we're going to talk about Operation Quiet Comfort. Ken and Jan Huyen are with us. We welcome all our viewers on our new YouTube channel. You can subscribe to Max 98.3 Stream! Exclamation point. Don't forget that exclamation point. So it's Max 98.3 Stream! Exclamation point. And you can catch all of our Marshall County Today programming on those. And every once in a while, a little bit of a feature of our morning show. But today, we're going to talk about Operation Quiet Comfort with Ken and Jan. And it is getting that time, kids. Your big event, celebrate and support our troops, Thursday, April 18th. Are you ready?
Spring is sprung.
Ready or not, it's here. We're rolling with it.
Bring your mic a little bit closer, Jan, so we can get a good sound to you there. Well, it is. It's down to crunch time, and this is where everybody kind of puckers up and gets everything going here. But the good news is you still got about another week to take some things. And I know one thing that's always been a huge staple for you guys is finding giveaways for your auction.
Right.
And so, you know,
sponsorships
too are another big thing that you guys have added to this. So, well, let's kind of dive right into it here. You know, sponsorships. Let's start there. What are we looking at here?
Well, if you want to be listed as a sponsor on the program, which is the placemat at every table setting, that's a minimum of $100. If you go 400 or above, we put a blue star next to it because you're a wonderful sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can be a sponsor of a table. You can buy your individual ticket, but if you want to sit with your friends, you get 8 people together, and then we reserve your table for you. So $400 gets you a table of 8. This year we've added, if you have 2 tables, 16 people, and come on, you can find that many friends. Then we call it a super table, and you get extra benefits.
Great. Well, I think that's a great thing to do. And, you know, this event, folks, if you're just hearing about this for the first time, 1, where have you been? But 2 is this event here is so special and unique. I don't know of any other place doing in our area this kind of stuff. I mean, everybody does certain things for our veterans, which is absolutely marvelous. But this is a literal program that we do here. I mean, this highlights our local veterans. This highlights veterans, period. But it also highlights the service that Operation Quiet Comfort does. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Operation Quiet Comfort, let's start with that ground base right there. How did you guys get involved with Operation Quiet Comfort to begin with?
I always say I need a short version of that. So my daughter the other day said, just say you had family in the military.
You got a lot of family. You got a lot of family.
And she laughed, and it's like, but you don't really want to do the short version, do you, Mom? Well, first of all, what Operation Quiet is or does, it was started by a lady in Michigan in 2004. And her mission for Operation Quiet Comfort was to honor and comfort our military men and women that were injured while serving in harm's way, and to support the medical staff that cared for them. And she did this by rounding up volunteers and sending care packages overseas. And so we became involved in 2007. We had a son-in-law in the Army, a son in the Navy. Kenny's a Vietnam veteran, and my dad was World War II. So it's a long story, but we got connected. We heard about this Operation Quiet Comfort. We went to Michigan, helped pack some care packages, and we were hooked. We kept going back every few months. Within a year, I was a board member. Fast forward to 2010, and the lady could no longer do what she had been doing. She was doing the packing with volunteers out of her home. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't do it anymore, and we said, okay, we're going to move this all to Plymouth, Indiana. We have a building behind our home, so I don't have to have strangers in my house. Mm-hmm. But anybody is welcome to come and help pack these care packages. They no longer go only to medical units. Thankfully, we don't have as many of those, but we have troops overseas in countries that I had never heard of. I'm learning a lot about geography, but we send 20 to 40 care packages, mainly hygiene items and snacks, every month. 20 to 40 large boxes every month.
What an
And
incredible number.
they go to our troops that are stationed in places like Latvia, Lithuania, of course, Poland, South Korea, Diego Garcia. Do you know where that one is, Tony?
No idea what Diego Garcia is.
It's some tiny island somewhere.
The
Really?
Indian Ocean.
No
It's out in
kidding.
the Indian Ocean, out in the middle of nowhere.
And Bahrain, we know that because our son was stationed there. That's a tiny island off the coast of Saudi Arabia. We have Coast Guard that we've sent to there. We send packages to aircraft carriers on ship. So anywhere they're stationed around the world. And some of them tell us they have no place to go buy toothpaste and shampoo. And when we first started sending things to medical units, we were sending high protein snack bars, things like that. But now we also get requests. We get requests for that. They want the protein powders and things
Right.
and lots of coffee. But remember, many of these are 18 and 19-year-old kids. They want junk food. So that's
With
kind
their
of...
bugles and Doritos and stuff like that. But, there's limitations on what you can send, though, right?
There are interesting things we've learned about shave cream. I was told to send shave gel, and then I discovered that shave gel is also an aerosol, and you can't mail, or you're not supposed to mail aerosol. So we had
Wow.
to find a source for shave lotion. So, yeah, and there's some countries you can't send pork, so it has to be beef jerky. So I learned a lot.
Well, and I mean, that's also requiring a lot of research on your guys' part, almost on a monthly basis. What can I send? What can I send to fit this request? And, and again, I said back and I marvel how you guys have been able to manage this now for so many years. To a point now, you got other folks that have contacted you guys to say, how are you doing this? Because we would love to join an Operation Quiet Comfort and do what you guys are doing. That's got to feel a little rewarding, knowing the fact that you got a lot of people that appreciate what you're doing and they would like to maybe carry that kind of burden. I should say it's a burden, but it's not a burden. But it's carry that, that kind of thing into their particular county where you can get support and help ship off more stuff to our men and women overseas or wherever they're at.
Yeah, because we're not the only group that sends troops overseas. This past week, we had a group in Poland that finished up their deployment, and they have a weekly newsletter, and they were thanking all the different people that sent them good candies and everything. And the list, there was almost a half a page, and Operation Quiet Comfort didn't even make the list.
Wow.
But we had sent to them.
We had sent to them, but there were so many people sending to them, they didn't have room to list them all.
Right.
But that was a USO that had over 400 troops there. So everybody doing a little makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
When we send to an aircraft carrier, they have 6,000 sailors, and we're sending 5 boxes. So there are different organizations, but we are the only place that Operation Quiet Comfort packs and ships. Our organization depends on volunteers. The community is amazing.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. As you guys, when you first took it over and brought it here to Plymouth, everybody loved the idea, and but it was still you guys kind of being the lone soldiers, packing, boxing, shipping, and putting all the items in where they need to be going, and the arrangement part of it. And folks, that's just not easy. But you guys have finally got a great system, and to a point where you mentioned the community, and let's talk about that. From back where you started to where you're at right now, boy, you guys just got to just be head over heels with in love with how everybody's embraced this.
Well, I counted on my fingers this morning. I guess this is our 15th year of doing the packing and shipping from Plymouth. So I think people have finally thought, okay, this is for real. They're going to keep doing this. And
That's right.
And so, yeah, we have the second Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. Anyone that wants to show up in our building, We have jobs. We have things they can do, heavy lifting, sit-down jobs, and everything in between. But back to our fundraiser on April 18th, we can only do this with the donations that we get. We depend on monetary donations and items donated throughout the entire year, but this is our biggest fundraiser because we spend, this isn't counting what we purchase to send, but just our postage alone is anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 each month.
Wow.
So
That's nuts.
it's just, but there are things as we continue this, like we used to buy our boxes from Uline, but now our boxes are all donated from American Container right here in Plymouth.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
How about that?
We don't pay for boxes. And we just bought a bunch of legal pads. They were on sale at Bailey's Discount Center. And we're like, if we take those to Bowen Printing, I'll bet Dawn will cut them into smaller notepads, which we send in our go bags.
Right.
Well, after Kenny talked to her and they did all the cutting of those, she's like, we have paper all the time. We can make notepads and you don't ever have to buy them again.
How about
Those are the
that?
blessings. As you
Yeah.
continue to educate people, they step up.
Well, Dawn is she's amazing to begin with.
Absolutely.
Dawn, Bowen Printing is just amazing. And she's another one that she doesn't like praise, but I can't help but be the Gabriel, when it comes to folks like Dawn and other area businesses that participate, because you know what? There's so much daggum negativity around here anymore that people don't see the blessings that are right there, And the other thing you mentioned real quick, because I'm going to forget about this. You guys are transparent with everything you do.
Oh, yeah.
No one keeps money. I mean, you guys are volunteers.
Yeah,
And
everybody in the
Everyone.
group. There's no one paid anywhere in the organization.
Nobody.
The joke is when you're working packing boxes, if you do a really good job, we'll double your pay. We might even triple your pay. But everything times zero is still zero. And we
Exactly.
can honestly say no one is paid. We have to pay once a year for some liability insurance, and we pay for a little bit of the ink and paper for all the flyers that we print.
Right. But that's it.
That's it. We provide the building, people provide the labor, everything is donated. So again, this fundraiser, tickets are $50. And I've heard people say, that's a lot for a meal. It's a fundraiser, but every dime of that $50 goes to purchasing and shipping. Nobody gets paid for any of that. The meal is all provided, the auction
Donated, yeah.
items, everything is donated. We do have something new coming up. Speaking of Dawn and Boeing Printing, and I have to give a shout out to Bonnie Broker, although she's in Florida right now, so she won't hear this. She stepped up. Our board members for years talked about we should do T-shirts, but nobody took the ball and ran with it. Well, Bonnie Broker did, worked with Dawn. We haven't got them back yet, but we will have T-shirts.
Oh, really?
Operation Quiet Comfort T-shirts. Now, 100% of the cost of those won't go because we do have to pay for the shirts, but they gave us a really, really good deal. So we're excited to be able to let everybody wear a T-shirt.
An OQC T-shirt. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. I like
that's
that.
a new
Nice little
thing.
touch.
What size do you need?
Oh, I cost extra.
Oh, okay. I do
You
too.
don't have to worry about me. I'm fine.
Well, the good part is we'll have some for sale at our banquet. We'll be giving a few away, and then people can order them. If they want something different, they'll be able to order with the OQC logo on it.
So that's Jan and McKinn here. We're talking about Operation Quiet Comfort and their big event coming up Thursday, April 18th. Doors are going to open at 5 p.m., dinner at 6, and the program is going to begin at 6:30. And we got to say another special thank you to the Plymouth Columbus Club again for hosting our event.
Absolutely.
So Q and the good folks donating their time. It's always great to have them, part of this because, well, we've always had them for for years and years, and so they're a staple. They're part of the family,
Yeah. Along with the Cub Scouts and everybody else.
And the Cub, yes. Yeah, well, what troop we got this year?
Well, I haven't really locked them in, but usually it's 27.
Okay. Yeah. So we got a dinner, program, auction. Do we have a list of auction items that we're going to be...
Not with us.
In
Not
our
with us, okay.
heads, I can.
Well, there's some, but once again, it's been every year. You guys have some really major auction items.
Oh, yes.
So I know you guys know about those at least. So if you want to run those down and who's provided, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's always the plane ride with Kenny.
Yep.
And Oliver Ford, again, is doing their vacation package with us. Mine's
we're
going blank. Yeah, we have.
We're hoping for a kayak and a pontoon ride. And what do we usually have, Tony?
Well,
we're working on
quilts,
it.
homemade
We've got
quilts.
quilts. A lady from North Carolina sent me a red, white, and blue quilt that she made for
And
it.
they're gorgeous.
We have another
You
handmade
had
quilt.
grills there in years past.
Yep.
That's just off the top of my head. I have to admit, I'm usually too busy mingling and eating.
We're
We
still
have-
collecting too, so if anyone has an item that they'd love to have to advertise their business, let us know and we'll come get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He came home yesterday with a tractor and a combine and a little barn set, so even
Nice.
something for the kids. I'm trying to think what's laying on the table. But if anybody has anything, give us a call. We'll come and pick it up. We're in that mode right now of getting that all done. We didn't mention the rock star MC that's the cheerleader at our banquet.
Well, I'm glad you found a good person. Who is he?
Tony, we really appreciate you.
Well, I'll tell you, like I said, real quick, I'm going to make this statement. You guys were my inspiration to get started to begin with for what you're doing. I can't contribute. I've never served. I've never had an inclination to serve, but thank the good Lord, we got people like Ken who have been willing to sacrifice for my ineptness and to want to do that. Because without them, we'd be in a lot of trouble. And so I appreciate that. And any way I can help donate to something that's so special to families, to kids who are not going to be home for Christmas, who aren't making it for Thanksgiving, who are probably with the way the frickin' mess is now in the Middle East, they don't know when they're going to come home.
They won't be there for the birth of their child.
Are you kidding me?
Our one grandson was born here in Plymouth, and I was in the delivery room with my daughter, and I was on the phone with the daddy. He was calling from Iraq, and I got to tell him it's a boy. So
What a blessing.
There's so many things like that. And that's where I was, even though Kenny was in the service, thank the Lord he didn't go to Vietnam. He was in Germany, so I'm a college dropout. I married him and caught up to him.
Can't hide.
I don't know where I was going with that. I guess at the time I heard about Operation Quiet Comfort, I wanted to do something for the military, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we have gotten involved, but we offer that opportunity to others. It's something you can do. If you come on one Thursday night and pack a few boxes.
It could be. I will tell you. I'm glad you brought this up. I can't remember who it was. Well, you had Triton students come in.
Oh, absolutely.
And I ran into one of the counselors, and because I know them and related, and they talked about some of the kids coming back talking about how life-changing that was.
That's good to hear.
You know,
They have come multiple times.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is more than just
That's what
a night of packing boxes and stuff. This is stuff where you're helping. You are literally making a difference.
And we talk about the Thursday night, but any organization, any small group, bring a couple family members. I will set up a time for anybody. A couple weeks ago, we had a homeschool group.
Great.
And you should see 3-year-olds dropping a pen in the bag. You know, it's things that anybody, any age can do. But if there's a group that wants to come, we'll set up a special time. I tell people individually, if you just want to come and look at our building, last week we had a little issue with some LP leak, whatever. Anyway, when the guy came to take care of it, he walked in the building and looked around and said, "What do you do here?" Like, well, I had 52 boxes ready to ship the next day. So you can imagine the building had a lot in it.
Absolutely.
And I had the opportunity to tell him what we were doing. He walked away handing me some money and taking information to his boss. It's
There
educating
you
people.
go.
I mentioned
There you
Bonnie
go.
Broker. I've teased her. She's my hairdresser, and she has her salon in her home. And I've teased her. It's like, how do you get so many donations? People donate stuff. People drop money in the little jar she has there. And I've teased her. I said, do you hold the scissors over their head and go, you will donate? And I hope I didn't offend her, but we were talking the other day. She goes, all I have to do is educate. In her business, they're sitting there in her chair for half an hour or 2 hours, depending on how much work we need. And she has the opportunity to share with them. Mm-hmm. And it's been amazing. Once you tell somebody and explain what it's for, most people want to do something. And this
most
gives them
people
the
are
opportunity.
in my shoes. We probably never served.
Mm-hmm.
We
Don't know anyone that
don't know
serves.
any, or we don't know, or if we have, when you don't hear from them, sometimes it becomes out of sight, out of mind. Okay, and I think a lot of us, it just happens. It's tough to explain, but what we know is that we've never served. I've been afraid of guns since I was a kid, and that's been part of the reasons why I've always, never thought about joining the service, because I'd accidentally probably shoot myself. That's why when I sit across from Ken, who has served, or my family members who have served, and you come back and you listen to the stories, and you not only do you get educated, you appreciate a little bit more why you're living in a great nation.
Wow.
And with all the crap that goes on with the politics, sometimes I wish they would just sit down and listen to a former soldier and say, and just listen. Shut up and listen. Don't come up with these grandiose ideas. Let your soldier talk, because they've been where you have never been. And they know how valuable and what a value is to live in this country.
And
They've been where other people, you don't get freedoms.
We are a non-political organization.
And that's a great
when
thing.
I'm speaking to groups, I always say, I won't tell you my political views, and I don't want to hear yours. Mm-hmm. And Tony, that I always say, I don't know if the wars are right or wrong. Where our troops are, I don't know whether that's right or wrong. I just know
We got kids over there.
that we have to support our military, or we would not be the United States of America.
Yeah. Bottom line.
Yep.
That's really
comes
what the
down to.
mission of this is, truth be told.
It's just anything we can do to make their day better. We hear the stories of the suicides when they're active or when they come home. So anything we can do, whether it's just a card, and we didn't mention, we send over 1,000 cards a month. Now that's a card with no envelope, no glitter, could be handmade, it could be a 3x5 index card, it could be a fancy one you bought or made, but any little message that says, we appreciate you, we're thinking of you. Here's what I'm doing today in Plymouth, Indiana, but I thank you for what you're doing. Some people write a lot, some just write a little, but they tell us those cards mean the world to them.
Keeps them going.
They appreciate everything we do, but they said cards from people they don't even know, messages like that mean the world to them. And we never get enough cards.
Yeah, you know what? And that really, if you really want to contribute, and you want to put your own little personal thought in these cards for our men and women over there, that's the best way to do it.
It
Get a
doesn't
card.
cost anything.
Get a card. You know, you guys even have cards at the event for people
Absolutely.
to sign up.
Right.
Right at the table.
Most
Absolutely.
events we go and talk to, we bring cards with us and have people fill them out while we're there.
Yeah. So again, this is a huge event, and you know, I so am thankful we got two folks here like Ken and Jan and your staff, because you got other volunteers at this event. I don't know if you can remember all the names. You're more than welcome to mention them. I don't
Well-
mean to put you on the spot like this, but
Well, Pam Michael has always been a great supporter and helps coordinate everything. And Joe Thomas and her sister Anita have run the food, you know, as far as getting it on the tables and having that all taken care of. Carol Biter kind of handles the coffee and the desserts. Carol Blake is donating pies, but other people, and I'm not sure who, I don't have names yet, but other people will be donating pie. I love pie.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
have a couple of sheet cakes. That's okay for those cake people, but I love pie. So
absolutely.
that's our main dessert. And as far as people helping, Eric Anderson is like, whatever you need,
That's
I'll be
right.
there. He's
I
always
love
there.
him. He is what a true servant's heart he has.
Oh, and Joe Thomas told me the other day, she goes, "Are you rounding up your volunteers?" She said, "Somebody came up to me and said, I helped last year. Do you need me?" Absolutely. Anyone that would like to help. On Tuesday, which would be April 16th, starting about 1 o'clock, we'll be setting up the tables and chairs and setting the tables. We are blessed to be able to have a couple extra days from the Plymouth Columbus Club. I think somebody that does a lot of their electrical and is a member helps us get a little extra time, which is a blessing, so that we can set up. But we have volunteers that do that. And then the day of, we need volunteers to do different things. We mentioned auction. That night, we have a meal, we have a program, but there's also a silent auction, a live auction. There are mystery boxes you can buy. Those have been real popular. We have a raffle. We sell playing cards so that you can maybe win one of these large auction items without paying for anything except that card. My two card sellers that have done this for years are bailing on me this year. One's going to be in Cheyenne somewhere, and one's working. It's like, what? Come on, guys. So
Can't get the
anybody,
day off. Yeah.
anybody that wants to help out, we can find a job for you, an opportunity to just be a part of the, I was going to say organized chaos, but we really have a system that
No,
works
you got
well.
a system.
We
It's
have
just it's organized chaos to you because you got to make sure everything's I's dotted, T's crossed. So,
I
but
did-
it really is ran very simple.
And I forgot to mention my sister, who is a board member. And,
Boy, we
and-
didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I
We would
know.
have heard about
I
that
don't think
one.
she knew we'd be on here. I won't tell her about
Okay.
YouTube. Anyway, you know, she makes me crazy. I love her to pieces, and we work together on everything with that.
Very well.
She's
Yeah,
actually
very well.
sponsoring a table this year instead of just hiding in the back room. So
Great.
bringing some of her friends, and so it's just exciting to
So
work
let's
together.
talk a little bit about the process of donations. How easy is it to donate to Operation Quiet Comfort? Checks, card, credit cards. What do you take? What don't you take?
We take credit card, cash, money orders, donations of material in kind.
You take checks.
We do take checks.
Okay.
Yes.
And the night of the event, we will take credit cards.
Good.
We started doing that a couple years ago and got that down. Can you take PayPal? We could work that
We
out.
can work it out.
Well, we got 3 weeks. So.
But and even
That's easy
Zella,
to do.
if you have Zella, you can use that.
Okay. So good. There's lots of opportunities and ways for you to help donate.
There are, and
But one unique thing we have at our banquet that we're really proud of is the meal itself. We've mentioned that you're not paying for the meal when you buy your ticket. Everything goes to our function. But the community comes together every year and the entire meal is donated. And this year, I'll do a quick rundown.
Because I was going to ask you about great minds think alike here, by the way.
The pork this year is coming from Mission Barbecue, the restaurant in Mishawaka. And they're also doing the sauce on it. They did the sauce for it last year. And they were so impressed with our banquet that now they came to us and said, hey, we want to be involved more, and they want to do the pork. The green beans we're getting come from Castaways Restaurant here in Plymouth. The baked beans come from the Brass Rail. The coleslaw comes from Bob's Cafeteria. The buns for on the meat comes from the Dairy Queen. The potatoes come from Christo's. They also do a salad. The napkins come from Pizza Hut. The cups come from Wings Etc. The silverware is Treehouse Pie Company. Everything, the placemats is from Bamarco here in Plymouth. The entire meal and all the utensils and everything that go with it has been donated. So when you buy your ticket, you're not paying for the meal. You're just enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's a great point.
We are a 501c3, so what you donate, check with your tax person. It's possible that that can be a write-off for you. And
Well, it
speaking
should
of,
be.
that is something that this is, I guess, separate, but it's another fundraiser for us. I mentioned the cost of our postage. Last year, we started something called a postage partner. If a business or if a group want to go together with their friends, or if somebody wants to just write the check for what $1,000 donation, you can be a postage partner of the month. And we will advertise as much as we can on our Facebook page, on our website. Any way we can get your name out there for that month, we spotlight you as our postage partner of the month. And it worked great last year. When I did the summary of what we shipped last year, our postage cost was $12,500 and some dollars. So $1,000 a month
Will
help cover that. We don't have anybody signed up this year.
Okay.
Somebody took a vacation and didn't go out. So
Boy,
if there's-
everything rolls downhill with you,
It all
doesn't it?
rolls
I'll
on
tell
top of
you.
me too. Yeah.
that's why he's the president now.
Yeah.
He used to be behind the scenes doing all the same stuff. And finally it's like, you know what? You need to have a title here. So, but that is something that
we sponsor for the postal stuff.
We had great businesses step up last year. And at our event, we had some groups went together to sponsor that. So it's very much appreciated. That's just one cost that we can have some help directly to the postage.
Wonderful.
There's just so many ways people can be a part of it, and we just continue to do what we can for the troops wherever they are. One thing we haven't talked about, people ask me, how do you get the names of people you send to? And there is a website called anysoldier.com. Anyone can go to that. And we'll go there and kind of scan through. It's where troops can send in their name and information, and they say they're willing to accept things and share it with others. Because we have to have a name to ship to. We can't just send to unit this or whatever. There has to be a specific name. So these people put in their requests for what they could use, and that really helps us if we know specifically. We kind of go down through the list and say, okay, this matches what we normally provide. If they have special requests, sometimes we can fill that. So that's where we get a lot of the names. But then if anybody has someone locally or knows someone and gets us the address, for instance, Rachel Dodson is a West Point graduate.
From
She
Plymouth.
is now stationed overseas, and we see her grandma every week. We see her mom and dad once in a while. And so we send things to her. And I talked to her mom the other day, and her mom says, I send her boxes personally. But she said she was so excited to get those and to be able to share them with her soldiers. Because,
Absolutely.
for example, at Christmas time, we were sending, I'm not positive, I believe it was to the USS Eisenhower. But our contact person sent back and he said, I have 5 names can you please send them their own personal box because they have received no mail at all. So, of course, we did. You know, if we get a special request like that. And then there's Colonel Dorima, who is now stationed in South Korea. He's been on our list at least 4 times, twice in Iraq, once in Landstuhl, Germany. He was actually at the border during COVID in Texas. But after the first time, I have no idea how he connected with us. But after that, when he's deployed again, he contacts us and says, can you put us on your list again? I'm actually friends with him on Facebook now.
Great.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We don't always hear back from him, but when we do, it's always so much appreciation for
Yeah.
what we do.
Well, like I said, folks, if there's ever a date carved down in your schedule, it's this coming, or not this coming, but Thursday, April 18th at, again, the Plymouth Columbus Club for Operation Quiet Comfort. Hoping that you've heard here 40 minutes of how you can help be part of this via donation, via time, personal time, whatever it's going to take that you feel that your heart can, lays upon you to say, hey, listen, I want to be part of this, because every dollar counts. Every 50 cents counts. Every donation counts to helping our families overseas. Let them know that you are thinking about them, because and again, in the past, talking with former soldiers, there's days, and there's a lot of them, unfortunately, where they feel that they just ask themselves, what the hell am I doing here? No one here knows me. And then depending where they're at, they feel like they got a target on their back every step they take. Because of restrictions on this and restrictions on that, you don't hear from home for a long time. And sometimes because of those restrictions, you don't hear at all. This is an outlet for you, and I hope you understand after this little interview we're having here that you can make a difference. Your donations will reach a soldier or a squad or however it's going to end up working out. The point is, you're making a difference. And if you're like me, who, I was just never cut out to be a soldier like Ken and do what he does, I feel a responsibility to let people like Ken, who are now overseas, hear, we appreciate everything that you've done for me. And if you're one of those, and I know you are, this is a great opportunity to connect to OQC. And if anything, make Thursday, April 18th part of your day, your evening, because it is a big event, and it does make a difference for this organization who's doing an amazing job at reaching our men and women, kids, sons and daughters, cousins, very easily to make a difference and let them know that you are thinking about them.
And what we do is letting them know that a grateful nation truly cares and they are not forgotten.
Yes.
And everybody doing a little makes a big difference. Real quick, tickets are available at WTCA radio station, Beauty and the Beach, Ask for Flowers, REMC, Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, or H&R Block in Bremen. But of course, you can contact Ken or myself at 574-936-1424 or Jan H at OperationQuietComfort.com. And
There
we
you go.
can get you
Or
set
check
up.
out our website or our Facebook page,
Yes.
Operation Quiet Comfort.
Yep, that's the easiest way to do it. Kids, thank you for being part of the show today.
Thank you
love
so
having
much,
on.
Tony.
Looking forward to seeing you on the 18th.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
There you go, Ken and Jan. Now you can catch a replay if you're just we're caught in the middle of this interview. Go to our new YouTube channel. It's Max 98.3 Stream ! And add that exclamation point, please. That way you'll get the right one. So it's Max 98.3 Stream ! And you'll be able to catch a recap of our interview with Ken and Jan here. And if you missed something informational wise, you can always go back to this and pick it up. We will be continuing to promote it throughout the Max Morning Show, so leading up to the 18th, and we hope you can. That's another way you can find out about it. And if you want to know any more about it, you can call me personally at 574-952-3970. All right, we're back to wrap it up after this time out.